I applied to Wilmer a long time ago. Well, for some of us. So back in 2007-8, when I was in law school, and I was figuring out what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to go into securities law. And at the time and still today, there was a handful of firms that were very good at it. Wilmer's name was at the top of the list, so I applied. Wilmer was not doing OCI on my campus, and back then I actually sent a physical resume in, which I think nobody does anymore. And I came in for an interview and met a lot of people in the practice, and just started to realize, beyond the legal practice here, which is obviously quite strong, there's a really strong community. And it was interesting that it came through in interviews. I did not see that at other firms. And, here I am, 17 years later after interviewing, and the partners that recruited me, I'm still close with and work with. And it's just funny that, there's a community inside such a large law firm that I think is very unique here. And I think we see that with a lot of people who occasionally, come and go and always sort of return home. And, I did that as well. I left for a few years and knew I wanted to come back at some point, and did so earlier this year. My areas of focus are always fun to explain to people. So I started off when I was a baby lawyer at Wilmer as a securities regulatory lawyer in our broker-dealer group. And in particular, under my mentors at the time, who I'm fortunate to still work with today, those who have not retired, I will say. Trading and market structure is what my specialty became. And, when I started practice, smartphones weren't a thing. Suddenly the world had smartphones. Suddenly our clients wanted to create apps, trading apps, banking apps, payment apps. And I started on that work early on, and that actually led me into digital assets. And, I left the firm for a brief period, and I was executive in industry working in crypto, and that's become my focus. So for the past several years, and now returning to the firm, my practice, I still call myself a securities regulatory lawyer, but really I'm dealing with blockchain and digital assets day in and day out. And we have a very strong practice here, as you'd expect, given our strong ties to government, strong agency-facing practices, and crypto is a big part of that these days. So in my area of practice, we get this question all the time. It's uncertainty. And 3, 4, 5 years ago, especially with blockchain and digital assets and crypto, no one knew what to make of it. A lot of the regulators tried to outlaw it in the U.S. It was prohibited in many other jurisdictions, and that changed very quickly in late 2024 and now 2025. And we get a lot of inbound questions on what should we do? Where's policy going to go? Where's rulemaking going to go? And no one knows. We're still waiting for more guidance from the agencies. We're still waiting for comprehensive federal legislation. We're still seeing what states want to do. And we're advising a lot of people really on that cusp of, the cutting edge. How do you prepare for uncertainty? How do you, deal with uncertainty? And then think 3, 4 steps ahead. What will the world look like when this is regulated? So I think the biggest thing we're dealing with now is uncertainty in this area, but it's not going to last forever. I think we're going to find out a lot, this time next year, if we were to speak, it will be very different. And I think we will have some very clear rules of the road. Well, I think those who know me as health and fitness. I played a lot of sport. I grew up in Chicago in the 80s, so I'm a big basketball fan. Play basketball my entire life. I used to captain the Wilmer team back in the day. I don't know if we still have one even. But those principles, very regimented. I like to stick to a schedule. I train and eat as if I was still playing sports. And I used to, people used to always make fun of me for being in the Wilmer gym and things like that. But I still do it. It helps with stress relief. It gives me something to do outside of work. Something that's a little less constructive. We have 2 small Frenchies, so many people here know about and have seen many pictures of. They get dressed up every year for Halloween. I think we won back-to-back years the Securities and Financial Services Department Halloween pet costume. I think we're hoping to make it another win this year. We'll see, but that's on the lighthearted side. A big part of my life outside of work.